Hello.
And salutations.
Welcome. It's midnight. Not midnight. It's midnight. Sorry, it feels like midnight. I have no idea what's going on. I am so out of it. If you didn't hear, it was ninjas that beat me up this weekend. So I didn't see them. That just meant that they're good at their jobs. So yeah, I tripped and landed on my nose, I didn't break my glasses. I got to admit the glasses did not break. The nose pieces bent all the way flat.
Oh.
And scratched the lens. So I had to order new glasses. Though it was kind of funny because there's Zenni glasses, and Zenni was one of the sponsors of the convention we were at. So I thought that was pretty fun. Bradley's like, you should send them an email.
Yeah, really.
See if you can get free glasses out of it. But yeah, no.
I doubt it.
Yeah, I tore ligaments in my hands, so that wasn't fun. So there will not be any knitting for me for a while. So,
oh no,
sorry about that.
All this stuff.
I know everyone else can knit.
On it.
So, how was your weekend, Therese? Did you fall and break anything?
No, I didn't. No. I just
good. I'm glad. I'm very glad.
My husband he's having headaches from like cluster headaches, and they're in his eye. Anyway, so we've been dealing with that. So, and that I don't have the pain, but trying to deal with it is stressful too. So.
Oh no, I totally get that, and he knows I sympathize. Yeah, it was a very embarrassing moment on my part, lying on the sidewalk, down off the strip.
I've done it.
Yeah, it was not a fun, but the people there were very nice and helpful. So,
well, that's good.
I appreciate that. They were very kind and, didn't make me feel like an idiot. So there's that.
They didn't point and laugh.
No, and I wore the shoes I wore specifically because last year when we went, I wore my sneakers that I don't normally wear because it's Vegas. I wear flip-flops year round. But I was like, oh, I should wear my sneakers because there's a lot of walking. And I ended up getting blisters. So this year I said, nope, I'm just going to wear my regular shoes. And I caught the edge of the curb with them.
Mm-hmm. And I've done it. Yep.
Yeah, because the line was moving rather quickly and I'm only 5'2". So I was kind of running to keep up. And you shouldn't run in flip-flops. No. Thanks, everybody. I appreciate it. So what you working on? Anything exciting?
I'm working on a cardigan that I cast on last Monday.
Yay!
Figure this out. Right, let me figure this out. What's that? Okay, I got the whole back done, and I got one front panel. I don't know if I can get this. It's kind of like origami. So I got the one front panel, and I'm working on the second front panel.
Nice.
And then I got to try to. You can't see it.
Is that cotton?
It's a cotton acrylic. I think it's mostly cotton. It's that Softy Baby. I don't know.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about.
So then I got to find a pattern for sleeves because the original sweater, and I've done the sweater like 3 times, it's got those bishop sleeves or the big balloon sleeves, and I don't want that. So I would find just like 3/4 length, just barely.
I would just,
decrease.
Pick up for the sleeves, maybe do a couple rounds, and then start decreasing from there.
You do the sleeves separately, and then you seam them.
See, I always hated that with crochet sweaters, so I always did them in the round.
It's okay. I don't mind. But
I help seaming.
That's not balloon sleeve, because
yeah. Well, you know what you could do? You could take a sweater that you like the sleeve, and just like trace it, like put paper and trace the the angle for the decrease and just mimic it.
Yeah, I have plenty of patterns, so I'll just look and steal one from something else,
It's what we do.
Yeah.
So, what else have you been doing?
That's it. That's what I've been doing. I've been working on that exclusively because I'm trying to find a sweater to knit, and I have decision.
Sorry, mine isn't going to test knitter soon. Sorry, I can't type up the pattern right now. So, yeah.
You could dictate it. And
is it me or what does his thing say? Is it me or what? I can't. Mike Tyson. Wow.
He doesn't talk
now,
like him.
I don't bite people's ears. How's that? So no, yeah, no, my eyes are they're better right now, but they're super black and yeah, not fun. I did work on my one top that I was working on until
it happened.
And then I stopped that because I haven't decided how I want the bottom to be. And what do you do when you need something to knit and you don't feel like making a murder knit shawl, which I know is blasphemy. So I did start a ranunculus.
There you go. Oh, I like that.
And I had it's 20,000 Leagues by Emma Yarn.
Oh, that's
and it's nice because her yarns are 600 yard skeins. And I just got about to the part of splitting the sleeves the night before I fell. So I was thinking I would come home from the convention and then, split for the sleeves and it'd be great. But no. I float like a butterfly and sting like a bee. I don't know how to take that.
Medical problem. You might need to get an ointment or something.
I don't know. I don't feel like I'm floating at all. I got bruises all over from my toes to my face. Not fun. 0 of 10 recommendation. So,
yeah, ninjas.
So yeah. So I will get my pattern out to you guys once I can, type and knit and all that kind of good stuff. So, which probably won't be for 2 or 3 weeks. So, since I can't con my daughter into typing it for me because she doesn't understand. She doesn't understand knitting language. It would take longer to explain things to her than to actually,
Yeah.
So.
Oh.
But yeah, so that was my weekend. Other than the NFL draft, which.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
My son was calling me with updates.
I always hate watching that. It's after a certain while.
I kind of felt bad for Sanders when the kid prank called him.
Yeah,
because as much as I don't like him, that was not cool. And I guess I guess his dad's not getting punished, the defensive coordinator, because he didn't actively give his son the phone number. His son saw it. So
and the kid apologized.
Yeah, so. that was mean.
Right. But the rest of it, I was.
Well, I get the fact nobody wants Sanders because nobody wants his dad. Right. I mean, face it, they're it's.
The kid's got an attitude and just.
Well, he's only ever been coached by his dad, so who knows how he would be for anybody else.
Right.
So, I don't know. So, yeah. So, I guess I will be reading more so I can catch up on all the book series for the next couple weeks.
Well, that's a good silver lining.
Yeah. Yeah, and I still watch stuff. Can't knit while I watch stuff, so that's a bummer, but So yeah, so thanks for coming in and chatting with us. I don't know how long we'll be today because neither Teresa or I are up for very much today. So, but we had already scheduled and didn't want to not be here. And it's nice to see everybody in the chat.
Yeah.
And our friend Pirate, you need to talk to Neil. People suggested you should write a column for the next Block magazine.
Yes.
So you should check in with him.
Yeah.
Because it's you themed.
I have so many things I could say, but I'm not.
Why not?
Just like Pirate.
Right about how you met us through Carrie Smith. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I did see a bunch of people complaining because Jimmy Beans got sold and people were complaining because somebody got upset because on Craftsnark because people knit faster than her.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry. So practice. Don't get
skills up. Yeah.
Doesn't like people posting their things because they knit faster. Like, I'm sorry, but You know, seriously, that sounds like a you problem.
Mm-hmm.
There's lots of people who knit faster than me, and I might be a bit jealous because they get a lot more done, but I'm not triggered by it.
No.
So, and more of the anti-AI as usual.
Oh yeah. Oh, what was it? There was something on Craft Smart that I actually agreed with somebody. I was shocked. I can't remember what it was now.
Other yarn dyers that aren't sending out their yarn, which is terrible.
Well, that's not good.
Let's see what other good stuff. Vintage knitting patterns for sale. People selling vintage patterns, but if they're out of copyright because they were done before they were copyrighted, you know, what are you going to do? Because copyrights, I don't even think went through till the 50s or 70s or something.
No, I think. I don't.
So I don't even know, but they're complaining about it as usual.
Well, you know, they're not happy unless they're complaining. So,
you know, people complaining there is a chart, there's not a chart. You can't make everybody happy.
Nope. Then move on and do another pattern.
Yeah, I mean,
I really don't care for doing charts. And I was looking at a sweater because, like I said, I kind of have decision paralysis right now. And I found this sweater. I had bought the pattern a little while back. And it's charted, stranded. And I'm like, can I really? I might have to try it.
I don't mind knitting charts. I know how to read crochet charts. I just don't like them. For some reason, crochet, I'd rather have it written out. Yeah, and Kirshner's is going to sell big twist yarn. I hope Mama Nevin sees that because she might need more for her temperature blanket. So all patterns can't be copyrighted. U.S. passed a law recently about it. AI patterns. Well, yeah, I know AI patterns.
Yeah, there's no way.
No. But and you're only copywriting your written words. You're not copywriting anything else. You just your pictures and your verbiage. That's all you can copyright. You can't copyright the actual stitches because
right.
It's like you can't copyright music notes because the notes are universal. You can copyright your version, your
how you put them together.
Right, exactly. But I still love the designers who tell you can't use their patterns to sell things, or you can't do this, or you can't do that. It's like you have no say. Legally, you have no say. Like you can't tell me that I can't make a bunch of these sweaters and sell them. You can hope that I don't, and which kills me because chances are the people you sell them to aren't knitters.
Right. And
but the thing is, knitters will see them and then say, oh, where'd you get that sweater? And they'll tell them the name of it. And then they'll look up the pattern. So it's actually, in a way, almost advertising for the designer, but, you know, they don't get that. So I don't know. I like charts. I'm hoping I can heal before June so I can do my pattern for Neil for the magazine because that was already planned out. But
well, this one I'm looking at, it's pretty much just the yoke that's charted. So
that won't be hard at all.
And it's 2 colors. So, you know.
Oh, 2 colors. Yeah. If it's multiple colors, it's a pain, but
it's the keeping track that I have problems with, you know.
You know what though? Once you get going, it's like keeping track of knit stitch repeats. You'll just automatically go right there.
Yeah. We'll see. I mean, I've done color work before from charts, but
I might have to try and figure out if I can chart mine and then see if Neil can get somebody to test knit it for the magazine if I can't knit it before then. Which is a bummer because that was going to be my orange entry.
Oh no.
So hopefully I'll be able to get to that sometime because I've been planning that pattern for a while. Because that issue, if you want to submit anything, the issue is June 15th cutoff and it's hoist your colors. So anything flag related, pirate related, colors, anything, articles, patterns, puzzles, any kind of thing. He'll accept them.
Yeah.
We're not picky like some of those other magazines that, you know, people get paid to pay for.
That are $40 a month or some nonsense.
I know, that's crazy. $60 a year or something that one was. Like, really?
I don't know.
Strike your colors. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, better yourself by learning. Yeah. If you suggest these people they learn a new skill, some of them get totally offended because, you know, they knit what they want for their own mental health, and how dare you tell them to do otherwise.
That's your privilege speaking.
Right. But they're the same ones who will call out someone else for complaining about a pattern that, you know, well, you should learn how to do the pattern. Like, you can't have it both ways, people. No, I did not do it just to avoid testing.
She did it for the attention.
Pretty brazen words for somebody who wants me to submit stuff to his magazine. That's all I'm saying.
She flung herself down.
Yeah, it was ninjas, Neil. Didn't you hear me before? Ninjas. Just because I didn't see them doesn't mean they weren't there. It just means they did a good job. So, and there actually were some ninja cosplayers. So,
yeah, I think they were like double agent ninjas. Like, they were ninja cosplayers that were actual ninjas, but they were cosplaying as ninjas so you wouldn't think they were.
Yep. I heard that she threw herself down those stairs like that guy in Fight Club. No. And we can't. And what do we say about Fight Club?
Nothing.
We don't talk about Fight Club. There was a lot of unexpected. I mean, this was an anime video games convention, and the most popular anime characters we saw were from SpongeBob, and they're not anime; it's a cartoon. So we were trying to figure out. My daughter, who's very much into anime, she's an anime writer for CBR, and she's like, "Well, it's just one of those universal characters that people can easily do a costume for."
Yeah.
And it's funny because you can tell the people who are the guys who are going because their girlfriend's into it, because they're the ones with a sort of lame costume, and the girls got a really super elaborate costume.
Yeah.
Like, some girls will be all, you know, the whole makeup, the art, whatever, and the guy with her just has like a cape. That's his costume.
Yep. My daughter was SpongeBob one year in high school for Halloween. I made her SpongeBob costume. It was a cardboard box, you know. But we painted it to look like SpongeBob. And
yeah, no, it's pretty cool. There's some really super elaborate costumes people obviously put a lot of time and effort into. And the props surprised me because a lot of people had like huge props to carry. One guy was dressed as Maui from Moana, and he had this giant fish hook that he was carrying on his shoulder.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it's foam, so it's not heavy, but still, you don't want to have to carry that around all day.
No.
Punched myself in the face and narrated. So for some reason, I thought about my first 5KB. Yeah, it might have been a little more exciting had there been a narrator when it happened, but there wasn't, sadly. Just me being clumsy. So
we've all done it. And
I would not recommend. It sucks. And the bruises are not pretty whatsoever. And I'm becoming really big fan of my ice packs.
Oh yeah. When we were still in Detroit, it was split. You go up some steps to go to the kitchen and down some steps to go to the basement. And our dog, we came in the door and my dog knocked me down the steps. It's like 12 steps. I was black and blue all over. Purple, every color of the rainbow I was. And it broke my phone in my back pocket. That made me mad. But I was messed up for a while.
That's how I hurt my knee years ago. I tripped over my dog in the middle of the night.
Dogs.
Because my kids were little and I didn't want to turn on the lights when I was going to get something out of the kitchen. And my dog was dark colored and she came right out of the shadows and I tripped right over. So she didn't mean it. So I never blamed her. And later on, she protected my son and saved his life. So I can't ever be mad at that dog. So she was a good puppy. So, but yeah, the snarkers are kind of quiet. Yeah. They're not quite freaking out about tariffs as much as they were before.
Oh, they will.
So that's nice because, they were going crazy. And the thing is, the tariff things will get settled long before it ever goes into effect to affect them. for the most part. And,
I know. I see people scream. Oh, like I'll go through Instagram and, they show previews of threads. And it's got to be bots. It can't all be. It's got to be some bots. And they're all bitching about everything. Anything Trump does, they bitch about. And most of it's nice, So I click on it. And luckily, most of it it's all pushback, most of it. People are answering back.
No, if we're an old school Nokia phone, her hip would not have been shattered because Nokia phones could survive anything.
Oh, those things. That was like a brick.
I know.
I can still hear the ring.
Yep. Yeah, it's pretty funny. Like they were the press was all going after Trump at the Pope's funeral because he was wearing a blue suit.
Well, so we're
and yet,
so.
Well, I know. And there's a picture of him standing with Prince William, who was also wearing a blue suit. But Trump's wrong for doing it. Like,
yeah, whatever.
Oh,
and then they were bitching. They were bitching because somebody bitched because, he's got no class. He wouldn't take Joe Biden and Jill back on Air Force One. Why the hell should he? You guys raided her underwear drawer. You raided his house. You tried to lock him up. You did everything to him you possibly could, and he's supposed to give you a ride? No, I don't think so.
I mean, and Joe made a big bank off of being president, so he can afford a private plane to fly back and forth.
How'd you get there? You know?
Oh, I know.
Call an Uber.
Well, it's like when the Queen died and Jill Biden went to the funeral, and Prince Harry and his wife tried to bum a ride on Air Force One back to America, and they wouldn't let him because, you have to be vetted and all.
Oh, and I don't know if she can be vetted.
No, not. She's got issues.
He's got issues too, so.
Yeah. They're both a mess. I feel sorry for the kids.
Oh, yeah. It's always the kids.
The kids are the ones who are going to suffer.
Yeah.
But, just pretty funny. Just trying to think of any knitting stuff. Was there any controversy really this week? I don't think
so.
Any new patterns? Any patterns in the chat you guys want to talk about or suggest? Or any new things coming out?
There's been a couple sweater patterns that I've liked. Just not enough hours in the day to do all of the stuff.
Yeah, me too. I just can't do them.
Or I don't have quite enough yarn, or I do,
Yeah, I did see this one. I thought it was pretty cute.
Which one? Oh, that's cute.
Little fake cables.
Mm-hmm.
Need an easy sock pattern for a first-time sock knitter. Who has the best? Crazy Sock Lady or?
Yeah, she does. Or
Sockmatician has a good basic pattern too, I think.
Or like Hermione's Everyday Socks is good.
Yeah.
I
don't know. I haven't knit socks in so long. I was afraid Joe would jump on the casket with the Pope.
The first sock I knit, Blueberry
Waffle
was good. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The first sock I ever knit was Monkey. And it's just knits and pearls.
Yeah.
But yeah, just a basic.
Well, yeah, Tomsky, everything's Trump's fault, even if he wasn't even around for it. Well, it's all his fault. Because
everything was his fault when he wasn't there. So yeah.
That is true. I did see today though that they arrested the dude who mugged Kristi Noem.
Yeah. What an idiot. He's illegal. And you robbed the Department of Homeland Security head. Like, what is wrong with you?
Let's see what other exciting things. Oh, evidently Pakistan and India are going to war, probably. Okay. And Pakistan's threatening to use nukes.
Pakistan, yeah.
I guess some of the Eagles players refused to go meet with Trump at the White House, including Jalen Hurts.
Oh, whatever. Butt hurts. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? Grow up. You know, adults meet with people they don't like every day.
Exactly.
Let's see. What other excitements happened? Oh, a $70 million FA Super Hornet fell off the USS Harry Truman in the Red Sea. 70 million down the drain. Paramedic in Kansas City got stabbed to death by a woman in the ambulance he was trying to help, who had the week before bit and tried to stab a police officer, got out on bail, and then killed a paramedic.
There you go. Yep. They got to do something about these judges.
Yeah. Evidently, the janitors from that Columbia who were held hostage in that building during the protest are suing. So good for them.
Good for them.
Bunch of anti-migration protests in Germany.
Trump is coming to Michigan tomorrow. So, of course, they're all about hurt and protesting. Like, he cares.
Oh, please. We had AOC and Bernie out here last week and the week before.
Private jets. Yeah. They're cute.
Yeah, they're anti-oligarchy.
Okay.
Sure, yeah. How much you want to bet they flew on a private plane?
They do.
Yeah. Where'd all those houses come from, Bernie? There's a serial killer in New England.
It's Bernie.
Snow White needs $427 million just to break even. Gee, if only Disney had, not hired an idiot. No, we're just talking about stuff. Sometimes we talk about other stuff when we don't have knitting stuff, Tom Smith.
Right.
He's saying, yeah, it's knit news night now. Yeah. Because there's only, Anne's going
medical on news.
Yeah. Hey, we don't have a lot of knitting this week. She's been taking care of her husband, and I can't knit. So
I've been monogamously crocheting, so that's what happens. You get to see one thing.
Yeah. Did you see the judges who got arrested for helping illegal immigrants? Then the husband and wife judge, they gave the one guy guns.
Yeah, I know.
Holy cow! Like,
they're so stupid.
And they're like trying to get that other judge, free. Like, she's a political prisoner. No, she broke the law.
Broke the law
in the courthouse. Like, if a judge can't even uphold the law in a courthouse, they shouldn't be a judge.
And then we've got that little weird, I don't know what he is, Indian or Pakistani or what, the little weird dude in Michigan who's trying to get Trump impeached. He filed like seven orders of impeachment or whatever. Yeah, the violent are the real victims, like that kid who stabbed the other kid who's now the victim, but he's killed the other kid, which is ridiculous. And the death threats that they were getting was a group of teenagers drove by their house with super soakers because they were looking for their friend who was supposed to be running, and they were going to super soak him. They didn't even know this kid lived there. And they called the cops, and even the stabber's dad knew it was water guns, but they still called the cops as it was a threat. Yep.
They were going to someone else's house.
Victims.
It's insane. It was insane. Crazy. No, Texas Chief Lady, we usually start at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. your time.
Usually when we start. 6 Texas Sheep Ladies.
Yeah. Yeah. And of course, all the Democrat governors are encouraging violence against Republicans and conservatives because that's what they do. They can't, sit down and talk like adults. So I'm sure there will be more violent attacks and more people getting hurt and more people's Teslas getting blown up and whatnot. But, it's okay because, and it's funny because, we had a family get together 2 weeks ago, and my niece lives in Iowa, and she came, and I adore her. I love my niece to death. She's a lefty. She's very much a lefty, and a lot of it's because of leaving religion and things. Mm-hmm. But we just don't talk about things we don't agree with.
Right.
It was, we spent hours together. We didn't talk about politics at all. you know, and because I know right now she's not in a place where I could change her mind, and I'm not going to go along with what she says. So we just, you know, don't talk about things that upset us like that.
There's plenty of stuff to talk about, you know.
Exactly. I don't understand these people who cut off family members and friends because they have a different political view, and I'm sorry, but grow up. Because she's very much against Trump right now because of his anti-LGBTQ stance, which really isn't an anti-LGBT. No, he's a pro-woman stance. There's a difference. And I saw John Lithgow had a friend write him a letter asking him not to star in the new HBO Harry Potter, and he ignored it.
Yep.
I mean, face it, the guy's 86. Don't even know how many years he has left to act, so he's going to take whatever roles he can get. But he didn't make any apologies by it. He just said, you know, he was asked to do the role, and he's going to do the role.
Well, until he can't.
Well, yeah, but I thought it was very, you know, refreshing.
Yeah.
That, you know, he wasn't letting the politics.
Right.
Transmissions were okay.
What? Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
it's frustrating, but
yeah. I mean, surprisingly, they didn't pick one, as Anne calls it, one of the 12 British actors to play Dumbledore in HBO.
There only seems to be about 12.
I love the fact the majority of them were also in the Lord of the Rings at different points.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I don't know. I just think people need to really, they need to go after the medical industry and force the medical industry to actually acknowledge the fact that there is no scientific basis for most of this, because the medical industry went along with it to make money. Between big pharma and therapists who are getting paid big bucks to diagnose kids after 15 minutes of conversation, they're the ones who should be targeted.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've seen too many detransition stories that are just heartbreaking.
Oh, yeah.
And so, yeah. So now we wait to see who they elect as Pope, I guess. I'm not Catholic, so I don't know.
Well,
I just know the white smoke comes out and they've made a decision.
Yeah, that's starting May 7th, they said.
Yeah. Yeah, Tomsky, you're right. The lawsuits are coming. They've already been some that have started the lawsuits, and it's gonna steamroll. And it is destroying a generation.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not just the telling them that they could be a boy or a girl when they're not. It's just that they can make those kind of decisions as children, that they get their way no matter what. Sometimes you need to tell children no and be the adult. And a lot of these parents say, oh, well, I don't want my kid to be suicidal, or I don't want this. So they go along with it instead of using their own common sense and saying, okay, let's try therapy first, you know.
Mm. You have to be very careful about which therapist you pick, though.
That's the problem. That's why they need to go after these therapists and big pharma, because once they get these kids transitioned, they're on medication their entire lives.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a continual
customer for life. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, the white smoke means they sacrificed another kid. Well, evidently we don't talk about what goes on in the conclave fire, just like Fight Club, I guess.
Uh-oh. My hook.
I don't know. But so, yeah. So I guess the new magazine's coming out in a couple days. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, you're stuck with Dylan pretending to be a girl when he's already admitted he's not. He's pretending to be a girl.
What a loser.
Well, that's why. Yeah, I mean, and I think it's all a long-term con with him.
Yeah.
I think he's waiting till there's just nothing left, and then he's going to come out and say, know that he was a con all along, and he's going to write some book, and he's going to go on tour. And
I'm more concerned about that other dude because he seems more sinister. The one that what's his name?
Tells kids not. Yeah, Jeffrey Safrey or something.
I don't know.
Tells parents not to listen to their kids.
Yeah.
The preying on children part. I don't. If you're an adult and you want to live your life one way, I don't care. If you're a consenting adult, don't force me to buy into your delusions, and don't go after children. Kids can't even make the decision to take medication legally without a parent, and yet they can make the decision to whatever. So at least a lot of the sporting authorities are now going along with keeping women's sports to women, which is a good thing. So I pulled out some Nitpicks yarn the other day, but then I didn't feel like using it because, I'm mad at him on Tabitha's behalf.
Oh,
but I bought it long before.
Got the money.
I know. So it wasn't what I wanted. I ended up doing that turquoise for the ranunculus, but I pulled out some Nitpicks before that. I'm like,
I love that color.
Oh yeah, it's super pretty.
Our lake I told David last night, our lake was just a little bit darker than that. And I said, I really want a sweater in that color. It's just a tad darker than that.
Yeah, well, I think Tina's got some similar colors. Chicken Lady probably has something similar too. I've been trying to be good about not buying yarn because, especially now since I can't knit it, I really can't justify buying yarn.
For future use.
It's crazy. Yeah, it's a pretty turquoise.
It is pretty.
Yeah, I hope Dylan Mulvaney gets all the love in the world that he's given out.
Okay.
Right back at him. I saw something the other day where someone was mad because they was one of those where they go on a date and the guy dumps some type videos because they're either greedy or bring their children or whatever. And this one didn't tell the guy this person was trans till the middle of the date, and he got up and left because he wasn't interested. And they're on this whole thing. Well, you have to be interested because I'm a woman. No, you're not, and no, you don't.
No.
So, bye, pirate.
Bye, pirate.
Thanks. Hopefully, I'll feel better too. Yeah, I mean, you can't. If you like the yarn, buy the yarn. If you don't want to support somebody because they're giving to causes you don't like or they're a bad person, that's your individual decision whether or not to. I would never call for a boycott for that. Public boycott, because I may boycott things privately, but I won't ever say don't to someone else unless they're false advertising or they're selling something in a way that's dangerous.
Well, and that's the difference between, you personally boycotting something and calling for people to be canceled. That's the difference.
I'm sure Cascade does donate because they had been attacked years ago for some of their business practices and stuff. So I'm sure they use that as a way to buy their way out of jail. Yarn jail.
Yarn jail.
Yeah. I've been kind of off of Instagram mostly, and it's been refreshing not to hear everyone complaining about tariffs. Oh dear, I can't buy from American yarn because the tariffs. Good, buy from yarn from your country then.
Country, that's what you're supposed to do.
I mean, when did it get to be a thing where you only supported your own country because you didn't have a choice?
I don't know.
I don't get it because you would think you'd want your own country's economy to be good. But,
well, you know what? These people that refuse to buy yarn, tariffs and boycott and all this other stuff, I don't want to see you in Walmart. I don't want to see you in Target. I don't want to see you any of them places because their stuff is not American.
Yeah. Emily, I know all the sponsors of Gigi, but I know she's has her own Madeline Tosh yarn colorway that they bring out to promote her.
Yeah.
Adela sponsors her. I'm sure there's others, which kills me because I do love a lot of the Mad Tosh colorways. And I know they've had issues, but when I dealt with them, they were very sweet to me. Like I had great customer service when I designed a pattern for them. They were awesome. So I can't, speak for other people because I've had good experiences with them. I'm sure other people didn't, but it's like the Christy Glass thing. Some people say they didn't. Some people say they did. Some people said they did have a good experience and then later changed their mind because it was the politically correct thing to do. Haven't seen Michelle Obama knitting on her podcast yet.
I don't think too many people have seen her podcast. So.
Oh, that's true. But
everything I know about it, I've found out by accident, not voluntarily.
Yeah, and people aren't really big fans of it.
Well, I did say where she said that Black women don't express themselves. And I'm like, excuse me?
They have to have permission to express their pain.
Are you kidding
sorry?
Me? No, we hear your pain. We hear it every day, all day long, loudly.
One of the comments were like, have you ever seen Black women in an arrest video? Like they express their pain all the time. This was a Black guy. He was like, Black women have no problem expressing their pain. I
see this on Instagram where they're showing, people acting out.
Yeah. Yeah, Emily, I love Madeline Tosh too. I figured I can't control what they do. I like their yarn and they've been good to me. So I would never spend money on Lola Bean. I do have one skein of her yarn that I got discount on a D-stash, but I've never knit with it. I should send it to Neil. Let him have it. Make something of it. But yeah, it's some people are just evil, and I think there's some in the knitting world that are truly evil.
Okay.
And they're the type of people that could cross that line into seriously hurting somebody, and it's scary.
Well, yeah, we saw that with Nathan.
Yeah, exactly.
And she's not the only one out there, so just be careful, people.
Yeah, it's you got to be careful, especially at yarn festivals and stuff. Evidently, I guess be careful what you say and who you talk to, and because the online mobbing is one thing, but I would hate to get into something in person.
Yeah. And some people, I wouldn't put it past them because they're just that upset.
I mean, I know they're afraid Neil's going to come to some of these festivals in England, and they're scared of him. He should go in disguise.
Okay, what's he gonna? He'll go as a ninja.
No, he should go as a woman, because then what can they say?
From the circus?
But with the beard and everything too, because they can't say anything because, you had got in trouble for a U.S. flag pin? Are you serious?
I know, right? I want to see Neil in a disguise. What's he going to be, Mrs. Claus? I mean,
I don't know. It's like people who are, I don't know, Teresa, our generation, we were raised to be proud of our country. I don't, all this America hate. It's
like, what's wrong with nationalist?
Yeah, you need to wear a body cam so we can view it and talk about it on podcasts.
Yes.
Because Tabitha would have lots of commentary on that.
Right.
There shouldn't be drama. People should go and have a good time. And here's the thing. When they have these things with drama, people spend less money or they don't go because they don't want to deal with it. They don't want to go in, worried about this or, who's going to be there or who's going to see what I'm buying or who's going to see what I'm buying from. if you don't have any of that crap, people are actually more likely to go and spend more money. Mm-hmm. Black disabled Mrs. Claus.
Sure.
Tiger King just got married in jail.
I saw that. Oh, whatever, Joe. Whatever.
Can't believe he found somebody willing to marry him again.
Again.
Clearly that person never watched Tiger King on Netflix.
No, really. He's got Hulu.
Because they might have questioned the former spouses, like the dead one.
I don't know, maybe not.
I don't know. But I don't know. It's like if there's less drama, people are happier, they spend more money. Like,
and you know, with stuff, the prices of things nowadays, don't add drama to it. It's already dramatic for me,
Yeah, exactly. Can't identify as a woman in the UK anymore, biology or something else racist. But you don't have to identify as a woman, you just dress like one.
Yeah.
Because then they can't say anything to you.
Right.
Because you're not saying you're a woman, you're just wearing women's clothing. So or come up with some other disguise. You could be a ninja if you want, but they probably wouldn't let you bring a sword in with you.
No, probably not. Unless, no, don't go there.
Yeah.
Could be.
I don't know. Knitting should be fun again. Let's make knitting fun again.
Oh, that's your privilege talking it.
I know. Aren't I terrible that I want people to enjoy their projects?
I mean, I read, I've seen and been involved in some of the OG drama in knitting going back way back.
Well, I know.
And
I know.
I'm like, I don't want to be in this. I just want to, I'll read Craft Snark and I'll read all the stuff and everything. And then I'm just like, click off the X and get rid of the app and just move along, I don't want to be involved in all that.
Nope. Starmer made swords illegal. Wow. That's sad.
Start. Yeah. Well, is it though?
Well, if it wasn't, people killing stuff with knives in England, they would find other weapons to do it, or they'd find other ways. Like that one kid, was it Santa Bernardino? He went on a killing spree, teenage kid. He killed like 7 or 9 people. So a couple he stabbed, a couple he ran over with a car, and then he shot some people. And people were going against, because he used gun. And I'm like, yes, but you're ignoring the fact that people he stabbed are just as dead as the people he shot. So don't blame the gun. Like, it's automatically the gun's fault and not the person's fault.
Yeah.
Whenever there's violence.
Was it just yesterday? Somebody drove through a crowd.
Yeah.
And the car drives through. No, the car didn't drive through it.
No. They're going to get rid of trial by jury in the UK.
So what do you have, like a king
just
off with head kind of thing?
Just bench trials by judges? That's not going to fly.
No. Although they have that in New York, really.
Well, yeah, a lot of places.
Juries are worthless.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, it just blows my mind. Some of the people, like some of these, I saw this one today where it was a traffic court where the girl didn't agree that she was at fault for an accident. And she went around and pulled into a lane that the car was in already. And the judge is trying, not having anything of it. And she's like, well, they had been behind me the whole time. I don't know where they got through. And he kept saying, what, did Scotty beam this car there? Because she's claiming she had all these things on her car that tells her when there's other vehicles. And he's like, well, did you actually look with your eyes? She didn't get the Scotty reference. And then later on, he said the car must have had a cloaking device. And he told her she was wrong. Well, first of all, in Michigan, you have to turn into the closest lane. You went around and turned into the far lane. So right there, I could fault you for that. He said, because when you make a turn, you have to turn into the closest lane. and the car, was in the lane and she turned into it. And he's like, are you saying that it's not your fault because the car was already there where you wanted to be and you hit it? And she's like, well, yes.
I don't know.
$3,000.
It's crazy. Starmer judge. Yuck. I thought Starmer scandals were coming out finally. Him and his boyfriend and everything.
Was something about a pig? I don't know.
Well, and his wife ditching him or something? I don't know. Crazy politicians. But yeah, it's just like this girl was so stupid. And the judge is just like not having any of it. He's like, no, you're at fault. You just don't want to make, you made a mistake.
Right.
Like no one's ever told this girl no. And well, the car hit it. He's like, no, you were driving the car. You hit the other car.
Right.
Not the car all on its own. Like we were saying, driving through the, yeah. No, Debbie, I don't have new glasses. These are my other pair because I broke my glasses when I tripped and fell this weekend and smashed my face and tore ligaments in my wrist. So I had to reorder my other glasses because these aren't the best prescription, but these are my usual take pictures outside glasses because they don't transition. They stay clear, but normally I wear transitions. So it's crazy. People are crazy. Like someone was complaining on Craftsnark, what was it? About people asking questions in the chats and not answering. And well, I agreed with them actually, because, people should Google an answer before they post in the chat. Hey, I want to make this sweater, but I don't know how to knit. How do I knit?
Oh, well, that's
yeah,
ridiculous. But I see them complain about people going to Facebook groups or start, Reddit groups or whatever. Why don't they Google it first? Why are they coming to a group? Because you're in a group of people who all do the same thing. So if I want to knit such and such sweater, am I going to Google it? No, I use Grok, but am I going to Google it or am I going to go to a group that's about knitting sweaters or about that designer or,
Yeah. Yeah. That I get, but the ones who will say the basic questions like, how do I do this stitch?
Yeah.
Or, how do I do this? And, it's like, you can Google the basics, there's plenty of videos out for the basics before you go. And then but then when they do respond, people call them out for responding, not the way they want to hear it. Like, when they tell them, maybe you should Google it. And then they get all mad. It's like, if you're going to do a craft, learn the steps on how to do a craft.
Right.
I mean, if you're having, I mean, in our chat groups, we ask questions about what we're making all the time.
Right.
But, we don't.
Yeah, I don't ask somebody, like the foundational stuff.
No, because if you can't find it yourself, you ask somebody if they have a source for it.
Mm-hmm.
You don't ask them to teach it to you through a chat group.
Or YouTube.
Yeah. Thanks, Debbie. No, I'm not knitting for a while. No knitting or typing for a while. So that's not going to be fun. But I'll get to read a lot. So that's good.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I get their annoyance when you got beginners who aren't doing their due diligence and asking beginner, finding sources. Because it's not like when we were younger, when you had to get books or you had to find somebody who knew the craft to teach you.
Right.
I mean, now it's all over
the
internet. You can find sources, and YouTube's plenty good for teaching people how to do things. And even on things I know, I'll still go look for tutorials just to double check. If it's a stitch I've knit before, but I'm not sure, I'll go.
Yeah, like a cast on that you haven't done for 3 years. Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Then we ask Neil to research it after that if we can't find it.
Get back to me.
Say, Neil, have you heard about this? Yeah. No, I just don't. People are. Yeah, libraries are awesome sources, and it just kills me because they go after the same designers all the time. Like, Okay, so then just don't knit their patterns.
Mm-hmm.
You don't like Andrea Mallory sleeves and you don't like Caitlin Hunter sleeves. Don't knit them. You know, you don't like the Petite Knit uses beige, so don't knit. You know, don't knit her patterns.
How about you knit it in another color?
Yeah, I know. That's what kills me. They go after designers for using colors that show up well in photography because the neutrals show the stitch patterns, and then they bitch about it. It's like, well, no one's forcing you to knit it in that colorway. You know, right. I mean, like, just because the patterns come, the sample was knit some way doesn't mean you have to copy it. Like, I don't get these people who have to knit something in the exact same. I mean, I can get same yarn because you want yarn properties, but the same exact color, unless you really love that color, I just don't understand that, because you've got all the colors to choose from. And if you don't like beige,
nothing to bitch about.
No, they find something to bitch about because they're always bitching about something. They can't be happy and just knit or crochet or whatever craft they do. Like, I don't even check. I'll like read it once a week or whatever just to see what they're posting about, unless somebody in our chat group mentions it. Right. It's like, how do you have time to spend all your time on Reddit and not actually doing the crafts that you're looking up on Reddit? Like, and then you complain you don't have enough time to do your crafts. Like, I don't know. Well, maybe stop going on Reddit.
Yep.
You might be happier. I don't know. But that's just me. So people be crazy. That's all I can say. So I do think we're going to have to end soon, though, because I'm hurting. And if you can't tell, it's hard to sit still. I need to go ice my wrist, and Therese is exhausted. So, but thank you guys for coming and
Calvin's
supporting us. And
mind right now.
Well, Calvin, take a chill pill.
He's running around.
He's little, but he's mighty.
He doesn't think he's little.
No, in his own mind, though, he is. Yeah. In his mind, he runs the place.
Yeah, he does. Well, he does run the place.
No. Chihuahuas are like that, though.
Yes, they are. So,
attitude.
Well, thanks, guys, for coming.
Thanks for coming. I'm sorry. I'm hurting. I need to go ice myself and figure out what we're gonna have for dinner, because I'm not cooking this.
No. No, that sounds like another accident waiting to happen.
Yeah. No more no chopping for a while, no knitting, no typing or any of that fun stuff. So I do not recommend. Watch where you're going. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, but you can
still out about the world.
Yeah, I know.
Watch where you're walking, especially when you're stepping up onto curbs, because they're dangerous.
Curbs. The last time I fell was I had taken him to the hospital for something, and I was parking the car, and I came, and the curb, you know how it'll gradually descend, but they should paint it or something. If it's going to change size, they should paint it or something. So
it was one of those that there was a dip in the road right before the curb, and from the angle I was coming, because the line was going so fast and I'm short, I was kind of like stepping fast to keep up. I didn't see that it dipped. Yeah. And when I stepped up, my shoe caught on the edge, and I went flat, and I just laid there, and I thought, okay, I've killed myself, and I'm just gonna.
Oh God!
I did. I thought I broke my head open, and luckily I didn't. But it was not fun.
No, you just broke your face.
Yeah, I know. My eyes are all swollen and black and not pretty, and I'm bummed because I really like those glasses, but oh well. Can't get them fixed, and the lenses are all scratched up and they're discontinued.
Oh no!
So
I was gonna say, just get
fine.
another one of those. Oh.
Yeah, that's what Zenny's for.
Yeah.
Your glasses and hope for the best. So I'll be wearing these till then. But it just sucks because where the nose pads are is where the bruises are. So it's like even keeping glasses on. It's like I keep pushing them down like this so that they don't hurt when I'm wearing them, and then So. Yeah, cereal is delicious. I just have a hard time. I can't twist my hand to eat that easy. So finger foods have been the norm for the last couple of days. So
chicken nuggies.
Hey, my son's gonna bring me pizza one night this week. So
nice.
Unless I can convince him to go get something else even better.
I haven't heard the word pizza. I'm excited.
Yeah.
He likes pizza.
Why not? Pizza's good.
He's a big fan of pizza.
Yeah, my hand's all splinted up, and I have to get a different splint because they didn't have the right one. This one, I need one that covers all the way up my finger, but they didn't have one. So they had to be ordered. So yeah, that's my life. Don't do what I do.
Don't do it.
Go forth and knit and don't trip and fall. So thanks everybody. We will not be on Friday night. It's not Friday Mayhem this week.
Right. No.
It's Friday Mayhem next week because that's what worked for Joe's schedule.
Yes.
So
and that's why we do it.
Yeah, so we can see Joe. So hopefully you will join us again on Monday and then that Friday after. So
yeah.
And tomorrow is Knitting Wars, and I think it's the last Knitting Wars for a while. So go check out Anne and DK. Keep knitting your stripes because as far as I know, the stripe along's still going on.
As far as
I haven't heard from Joe. So keep knitting stripes, and knit all the baby things. Amy needs baby blankets as well as mittens and socks and hats. So if you want to knit baby things, and I think till the end of this month for politically incorrect knitters, they're baby cow. So knit baby things and knit stripes. And
Saturday's the Kentucky Derby.
Oh, it's Derby Day already?
Toby Keith has a horse in there.
Oh, does he?
I'm going to root for that horse.
Might have to make mint juleps.
I don't know any of the other horses. I haven't been keeping track at all, which is weird. But I heard that he has a horse in there, so I have to root for that horse.
Of course. All right.
That's it.
Have you seen his new song, his new video that came out like a couple months ago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sad.
Yeah. All right. You guys, we will see you on Monday. Bye. Thanks so much. Bye.